Hi, this is just a short lecture on inverses. Let's say we have the number 2. What is the inverse of 2? Well, the inverse of 2 is a half, as 2 times a half is 1. What is the inverse of 3? Well, it's a third, right? As 3 times a third is 1. Now, we can write the inverse of 2 like this. 2 to the power of minus 1, which is a half. We can write the inverse of 3 like this. 3 to the power of minus 1, which is a third. Okay? Now, what is the inverse of 2 to the power of 2? Well, 2 to the power of 2 is 4, right? And the inverse of 4 is a quarter, as 4 times a quarter is 1. Therefore, we would say that the inverse of 2 to the power of 2 is 1 over 4. Now, what would be the inverse of a half? Well, you have to multiply a half by 2 to get 1. So the inverse of a half is going to be 2. What is the inverse of a quarter? Well, the inverse of a quarter is going to be 4, as a quarter times 4 is 1. Now, what is the inverse of a half squared? A half squared is a quarter, and the inverse of a quarter is 4. So the answer here would be 4. The inverse of a half squared is 4. Now, what would be the inverse of 3 over 2? Well, it would be 2 over 3, as 3 over 2 times 2 over 3 is 6 over 6, which is 1. So, when you're dealing with inverses, you don't necessarily have to do this like most students do. Let me show you. Some students will do this. When they get the inverse of a half, they'll flip it round, they'll transform it into 2 over 1 to the power of 1, which is 2. Now, you don't have to do this, right? You know that a half times 2 is 1. Therefore, the inverse of a half is 2. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it has helped you. Subscribe to my channel to watch more maths videos. Thanks.